Hey everybody, I'm back, and as I think I promised you, or if I didn't, I meant to, I wanted to come back to you with a flip through of my travel journal from my recent trip to Japan. So this is, as you can see, in a Midori Traveler's Notebook. I kept the notebook every day, a little bit at a time, because there's no way I would have remembered to do everything after the fact. I wouldn't have remembered it in the right order. Some stamps from the Traveler's Factory, and I actually stamped these at the Traveler's Factory in Kamimeguro, which was really cool. But we'll get to that soon. So here is a business card, and this was from a not a pop-up shop, but it's from the Idea Space, the Hint Space in the Tokyu Hands on the ground floor of the one in Sunshine City. And this artist made a lot, the whole Hint Space, the whole thing was yokai. So it was, you know, classic Japanese monsters and demons and kind of the Western, it's the Japanese equivalent, I guess, kind of to like, European fairies and monsters and trolls and stuff like that. So some really, really cool stuff there, but I bought a phone charm from this artist and I wanted to keep the business card. This is a receipt from Mr. Donut because Mr. Donut is delicious. Okay, just want to make sure that we've established that because Mr. Donut is delicious. And I learned how to say to go. So when they asked me that question that I had no idea what they meant, I finally knew what they were saying and it's really exciting. Anyway, so these are my plane tickets on the way back from Narita. We flew Air Canada, which was... The airports in Canada are some of the worst designed airports in the world I have ever seen. You have to like hike 8,000 miles from one side of the airport to the other. And we had like almost 3 hours in between each of our flights. And you'd think that sounds like a long time, right? 3 hours in between flights sounds like a really long time. It isn't, at least not in Canada, because you're spending all your time going through customs and going through customs. Our boarding passes were checked so many times, I'm surprised they didn't fall apart. Like we went through at one point, one checkpoint where somebody was writing down on our boarding pass the airport or gate that we were supposed to go to. I kid you not, 45 seconds later, we got stopped in the hallway by somebody else who needed to look at our boarding passes, and there was no desk, there was nothing official. It was just a dude in a yellow vest demanding to see our boarding passes. And I was like, how many, okay, I'm not a criminal and I get that you're being thorough, but goodness gracious. Anyway, this is 1,000 yen. I don't think I was supposed to bring money back, but it was in my suitcase and I didn't know. So anyway, yeah, my bad. So here are some more stamps from the Traveler's Factory, and these I actually bought. So this is the Hello, I Am a Traveler, and these are the Departed, and I just put the date that we left for Japan, and then the Traveler's Post, which I think this might be one of my favorite stamps ever. And then this is a picture of me from the Buri photo machine. I have a lot of them, but I'm not going to show them all to you because they look really goofy. But, you know, it's fun. But I stuck one there because I thought that was one of the cuter ones. So, okay. Because you can tell this is going to take a while. If you need to pause this and like go get a snack or something, go ahead. Okay, and we're back. So I did a lot of watercolor, well, not a lot of watercoloring, some watercoloring in here. I try to be brave in so many things and I end up chickening out, but I tried to be brave about watercoloring because I'm not that great of an artist, but whatever. You only live once, right? Or do you? Anyway, that another time. So this is the watercolor. This was actually a glasses cleaning, like an alcohol wipe in a foil packet that I used to clean my glasses, and then it dried out and I was like, oh, that would make a decent paper towel-ish thing for my watercolors, and it did. It stayed with me for the whole 3 weeks. I used it for the whole time, so that was cool. This is a little flyer of the Pilot Iroshizuku inks. These are fountain pen inks or dip inks, whatever, but they're beautiful, vibrant, vibrant, vibrant colors, and it takes you through each of the different colors that are available in this line, which I thought was really cool. And I got the Tsukiyo, which is kind of like a peacock, like a muted peacock blue. and I got the inaho, which is kind of like, it's a corn something. It's like a yellowy, greeny brown. It's a very like craft paper kind of color. And the other one I got is momiji, which is autumn leaves, and this is my favorite color of all time. And I have it in my TWSBI so I can look at it because it's so beautiful. Look how beautiful it is. Cannot even deal right now. So those are the Iroshizuku inks. This is my Suica card, which for those of you who have never been to Tokyo, this is one of the subway cards that's available. And it's so much easier than buying a train ticket every time you want to go somewhere. Especially because we were not in easy walking distance of Sunshine City, where we spent a lot of time, so it was nice to have. We were one train stop away, but it was nice to have this so we didn't have to buy a ticket all the time just to like go get dinner. So there is some journaling in here. There's nothing that's private, but I'm not gonna read the whole thing to you. But let's see, highlights. So we left at 3:30 in the morning to get to the airport early because TSA lines have been really crazy lately. We ended up not having a problem, but I like to get places early. We went up to, our first flight was to Toronto. So we were in I think it was a Beechcraft. I mean, this is a teeny tiny, it was a small plane. And when we landed, the window in the cockpit was open so I could see through. I don't know if it's still called a windshield in a plane. I guess it is, but anyway, we could see the ground coming up to meet us as we landed. I did not at any point think that we were gonna die because our pilot was this awesome chick. She was so cool. It was a really, really good flight. She did an awesome job and that was really cool. So, this is just some stuff. So anyway, here are some pictures. We went to the Pokemon Center. It was one of our first stops, and one of the things that Matt really liked was the Derp Phase Pikachu, which apparently is from the episode of the anime where there's like a circus act that has a Ditto, and if you don't know Pokemon, a Ditto can, I think it's assumed the appearance of any other Pokemon, and their talents, I guess, in the game. It can take their skills and stuff, but in the show, the Ditto was a circus performer, and it would take on the appearance of other Pokemon to make the cast seem much bigger, except it couldn't do the face properly, so it still had the Ditto face, which is like a goofy little lippy face. We play a lot of crane games. There were these kitties that I really wanted. They're the cats from the Neko Atsume app game. I finally did get some, but it took a while. I didn't get them that day. And Matt got them for me, it wasn't me. Tendon Tenya, first time we went there, I had to draw a picture. Yeah. This is the substitute Pokemon, I think. I don't know a lot about this one, but Matt got it in like 6 different plushes, so he really likes it. Mr. Donut, cute little ramen place that you could get like the most delicious bowl of ramen in the world for 300 yen because Japan is amazing. This is the floor guide to Tokyu Hands. And Tokyu Hands, it comes in Japanese and in English on this side. And Tokyu Hands is one of my favorite places in the whole world. And I'm just gonna close this because there's a lot of not English in here too. The 6th floor is where I spent a lot of my time, as you can imagine. So Tokyu Hands is totally amazing. If you're in Tokyo and you love stationery, it's an absolute go-to. I said goodbye to a lot of money already early on in the trip. Here's another picture from the Puri photo booths. Lotteria. I love Lotteria because they have melon soda. McDonald's doesn't have melon soda, which I kept forgetting because if you like anime and if you've watched The Devil is a Part-Timer, Hataraku Maosama, the McDonald's that he works in, which is obviously a spin-off of McDonald's, they have melon soda. So I kept thinking that McDonald's was McDonald's, and that didn't do me any good. We also got cake at the Ginza, the Cozy Corner in the train station. And we wandered around the lobby department store, and I wrote down the little song that they sing so I'll never forget it, because I had forgotten that there was a song from the last time we were there. And then the next day I went to the Traveler's Factory. So for some of you, this is going to be the highlight. I took a couple of trains to Kamimeguro. And this place really, like, it creeps up on you. You barely even know that it's there because it's in an alley. Like, if I hadn't had Google Maps with me, I would totally have gotten lost. But I found it and it was really cool. It wasn't like unicorns exploding out of my eyeballs as much as I thought it was gonna be, but it was still really cool to actually go to the place where I'm buying all of this stuff online from, or at least, you know, the brand. So it was neat to see kind of their little headquarters in Tokyo. I got a little wind chime with a fish on it, and this is the paper from that, and I got that at Tokyo Hands. This again is another business card. This is actually, I think, the card that came in the phone charm that I got. And let's see, we went to the zoo in Ueno, which I really love the zoo in Ueno because there are these marsupial, they're probably not marsupials, but they're these like lemur type things called ayayas. They're over here, right over here. And they are the creepiest looking, most adorable, creepy things you've ever seen, and they live in the dark. And when you go to see them, it's in a dark building that actually has a guard to keep you quiet because they really hate loud noises. And they just like zoom around in the dark on their tree branches. They are the cutest, and apparently the only place, they're native to Madagascar, and the only place that you can see them is at Ueno if you're not in Madagascar, so I thought that was really cool. Then we left the zoo and we walked around. Oh, and we got stopped by a bunch of middle school kids. They were in school groups asking people who obviously were not Asian if they spoke English and if they could ask some questions about like what's our favorite Japanese food and stuff like that. So they were filling out sheets, so it's obvious that they were doing a project, which I thought was really cool. That's kind of a unique thing in a city like that. Like when I was a kid, they would never be like, okay, go find somebody who doesn't seem to speak your language and ask them questions to practice speaking their language. So that was really neat. We had to go through, Matt wanted Tendon again once we left the zoo. And we had to kind of go through this crazy marketplace in Ueno. And last time we went to Ueno, we only went to the park and to the zoo, so we didn't really look at anything else. And this area is like behind, it's across the street and behind the block across from the zoo. And it's just nuts. I mean, it was very, very tight packed and like crazy times. And there were stalls with like fresh fish and vegetables all over the place, and it was really cool. We got crepes, and this is a little Chatsuki Bella sticker. I thought it was cute because she's eating, so she's having a crepe with me. And then that night we went to the Sakura hostel and cafe in Ikebukuro, which is where we stayed the last time, and our friends Yuka and Mikiko work in the cafe there. And they gave us a pavlova, and then they had dessert with us, and we all made plans to hang out later that week. So, okay, there's a lot more in here, and this video is gonna be really long, so I'm gonna stop. This is part 1. And I'll be back with, I'm thinking parts 2 and 3. See you soon.